Good evening. Welcome to the National News Broadcast. I'm Kasani Balachandra.
Good evening, I'm Clifford Richards. First of all, we take a look at the headlines.
The most venerable Napana Pemasirithera bids adios to the nation. The president says that the late Mahanayaka Thera was an exemplary individual for both the clergy and the laypersons. The most venerable Makulavi Vimala Thera appointed as the new Mahanayaka of the Ramanya Mahanikaya. Isolation of several areas in the west will be removed at 5 a.m. tomorrow. 7 Gramalildara divisions of the Kalutara district have been declared isolated areas. Except in the western province and in isolated areas, schools in other regions will be reopened tomorrow. Development of 160 roads in 160 electoral divisions commences. Curfew reimposed in California.
Moving on to the stories in detail. The final rites of the late Mahanayaka of the Ramanya Mahanikaya, Aggamaha Pandita, most venerable Napana Pemasiri Thera, took place at Kandi Kundasale Bandaranaike grounds this afternoon with full state honours. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, who arrived at the Huri Kadua Sri Vidyasagara Mahaviharya, paid his last respects to the late Mahanayaka Thera. The Prime Minister expressed his condolences on the passing away of the most venerable Napana Pemasiri Thera, who rendered an immense service to the Buddhisasana. Also conveyed his best wishes to the new Mahanayaka of the Sri Lankarama Mahanikaya, the most venerable Makulave Vimala Thera. The remains of the late Mahanayaka Thera were brought in a motorcade around 1:30 p.m. from Vidyasagar Piruvena to Bandaranaike school grounds. The late most venerable Napana Pemasiri Thera, who was 98 years, became a monk in 1933, received Upasampada in 1943, commenced Huri Kadua Vidyasagar Piruvena in 1967, and later became the first chief of the Piruvena. In 2008, the most venerable Napana Pemasiri Thera was awarded Agga Mahapandita Honorary by the Myanmar government. He was appointed the Mahanayaka of the Sri Lanka Ramanya Mahanikaya following the passing away of the most venerable Vevaldeniye Medalankara Nayaka Thera. The Mahasangha President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, opposition leader Sajid Premadas, and many public representatives attended the funeral ceremony of the most venerable Napana Pemasiri Thera. The religious rites were conducted under the patronage of the new Mahanikaya of the Sri Lanka Ramanya Mahanikaya, the most venerable Makulave Vimala Thera.
ඉමානි මතක වත්තානි බික්කු සංගස්ස දේම
Anunayaka of the Sri Lanka Ramanya Mahanikaya, the Venerable Matale Dhamma Kusala Thera, Anunayaka of the Malwatu chapter, the Venerable Dimbul Kumbure Vimala Dhamma Thera, Anunayaka of the Asgiri chapter, the Venerable Venerue Upali Thera, Mahanayaka of the Amarapura Chulagandhi chapter and chairman of the All Ceylon Amarapura Mahasangha Sabha, Venerable Gangtune Assaji Thera, delivered the Anusasanas on the occasion. Minister Kelly Rabukwala read out the condolence message sent by Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. In this message, the Prime Minister says that he cannot forget the advice given by the late Mahanayaka Thera, who strictly followed Buddhist principles. He has said that the passing away of the Mahanayaka Thera is a great loss to the Buddhisasana. Addressing the funeral ceremony, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa said that the late most venerable Napana Pemasiri Thera was an exemplary character for the both clergy and laypersons. The President said that the passing away of the Mahanayaka Thera is a great loss to the society as well as personally for him. He said that the services rendered by the Mahasangha to the country in building the culture with Buddhism are immeasurable. The President said that the late Mahanayaka Thera rendered a yeoman service to the society during 88 years of his service to Buddhism. He said that the late Mahanayaka Thera displayed qualities of Sri Lanka Buddhist monks to the world. He said that the late Mahanayaka Thera, who honored by the entire society and had a character of an example for the clergy as well as for the laypersons. The late Mahanayaka Thera was keen about education of Buddhist monks in the country. The president said that the late Mahanayaka Thera was committed to building a moral society in the country. He said that the late Mahanayaka Thera committed himself to build a better citizen in prosperous country. The president added that the late Mahanayaka Thera should be honored by creating a country filled with values.
නායක හාමුදුරන්ගේ සියලු කැපකිරීම් වල අපි දැක්කේ මේ රට සමාජය සදාචාරවත් කරන්නට කළ කැපකිරීම. යහපත් පුරවැසියෙක් ගොඩනගා ශාස්ත්‍රීය රටක සමෘද්ධිමත් ජීවිත ගත කරන මිනිසුන් දකින්නට මහානායක හාමුදුරුවෝ කැප වුණා. උන්වහන්සේගේ අපේක්ෂාවන් මල්පල ගැන්වීම අප සැමගේ වගකීමක් ලෙසයි මා සලකන්නේ. මේ රට ගුණදහමින් පිරි රටක් බවට පත් කළ විට මහානායක හාමුදුරන්ට අපි පූර්ණ ගෞරවය ලබා දෙන්නා වෙනවා. මේ මහත් සංවේගජනක අවස්ථාවේ ශ්‍රී ලංකා රාමඤ්ඤ මහානිකායට මාගේ සාතිශය සංවේගය පළ කරන අතරම අපවත් වී වදාළ අතිපූජනීය නාපාන පේමසිරි මහානාහිමිපාණන් වහන්සේට අජරාමර නිවන් සුවපත් වේවායි මා ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරනවා.
The Armoured Corps of the Sri Lanka Army honoured the late Mahanayaka Thera with a 17-gun salute.
ශාසනික ප්‍රතිපත්ති අකුරට ඉටු කළ උන්වහන්සේගේ අවවාද අනුශාසනා ලබා ගැනීම සඳහා යන සෑම අවස්ථාවකදීම උන්වහන්සේ මාහට ලබා දුන් අවවාද අනුශාසනා මාහට කිසිවිටකත් අමතක නොවේ. ශාසනයේ දියුණුව උදෙසා අප කැපවී කටයුතු කළ මෙවන් යතිවරයන් වහන්සේලා සසුනට අහිමි වීම සසුනේ ඉදිරි ගමනට මහත් පාඩුවක් ලෙස මම දකිමි. ගෞරවනීය නායක ප්‍රේමසිරි අභිදාන මහානායක හිමිපාණන් වහන්සේට උතුම් වූ නිවන් සුව අත්වේවායි ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරන අතර සංවේගයටපත් උන්වහන්සේගේ සහෝදර හා ශිෂ්‍ය ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේලාටත් දේශීය හා ජාත්‍යන්තර බෞද්ධ ප්‍රජාටත් ස්වකීය අනුනායක ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේලා ප්‍රමුඛ මහා සංඝරත්නයටත් රජයේත් මගේත් බලවත් සංවේදය මෙයින් පුද කර සිටිමි. මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ ශ්‍රී ලංකා ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍ර සමාජවාදී ජනරජයේ කරු අග්‍රාමාත්‍ය.
Thereafter, the remains of the late Mahanayaka Thera were cremated.
The Mahanayaka of Sri Lankarama Mahanayaka Agamaha Pandit, the Most Venerable Makulave Vimalathera, has been appointed as the new Mahanayaka of the chapter. The decision to appoint him has been taken unanimously during a special Sangha Council meeting of Sri Lankarama Mahanayaka this morning. The Special Sangha Council of Ramani Mahanikaya met at the Pallakele Central Council Auditorium in Kandy. Most Venerable Makulave Vimalathera was appointed as the Mahanayaka of the chapter following the passing away of Most Venerable Napana Pemasiri Thera. He is the 14th Mahanayaka of the Nikaya. Mahanikaya Most Venerable Makulave Vimalathera is also the chief of Mirigama Miniyoluwa Vidyavasa Mahapirivana. The new Mahanayaka was born on the 25th of August in 1948 at Galgamuwa Makulava village and entered the monkhood on 24th March 1960 at Miniyoluwa Vidyavasa Mahapirivana. He obtained an honours degree in 1982 and a master's degree in 1990 from the Kelaniya University. The new Mahanayaka Thera has propagated Buddhism in many countries and became the Anunayaka of Sri Lankarama Mahanikaya on 25th September this year. He has been offered honorary degrees of Dharmakirti Shri, Saranankara Sadharmakirti Shri, Shastra Visharada, Sahitya Kirti Shri, Pariyatta, Durasiri, Saranankaropasena, Vinyalankara Shasana Sobana in recognition of his services to world Buddhism. The Myanmar government presented the Agga Mahapandita title of the new Mahanayaka on 20th March last year. Most Venerable Makulave Vimalathera delivered an Anusasana following his appointment as the Mahanayaka Thera. The new Mahanayaka of Sri Lankarama Mahanayaka, Most Venerable Makulave Vimalathera, said that everyone should work together with good thoughts for the nation and the religion. The Mahanayaka Thera further said that he expects to work together when problems arise in the country, exchanging views with others in unity.
Now, this is about reopening of the schools. Except in the Western Province and in isolated areas, schools in other regions will reopen tomorrow. Schools will reopen only from grade 6 to 13. The Ministry of Education has requested parents not to entertain unnecessary fears to send their children to schools. Schools will be reopened according to a planned decision. More than 5,000 schools island-wide will reopen tomorrow according to the advice of the Coronavirus Eradication Task Force and health authorities. Secretary of the Ministry of Education, Professor Kapila Perera, said that the principals have been given the freedom to follow health protective measures as much as possible. He said that the principals can get the assistance of parents to build confidence. He requested principals and staff to give the message that schools are secure. He requested the parents to give their fullest support to these measures.
මේකට ලබලා දෙන්න ඔබේ දරුවාගේ අනාගතය සුරක්ෂිත කරන්න අධ්‍යාපන කටයුතු කරන්න අපි එක්කලා වැඩ කරමු කියන එක.
The Ministry of Health and Education have announced a joint series of health recommendations in connection with the opening of schools. The recommendations have been given to the schools. Community medical specialist Dr. Chaitra Mali De Silva said that the Ministry of Education has decided to limit 15 students to a class. Accordingly, students will be brought down to schools in groups. It is very important to wear face masks until they arrive at the class. She said that a decision has been taken that the students can refrain from wearing face masks when they are following studies in classes. She further said that the parents should not send students with symptoms of disease related to the virus. She further said that a separate room has been prepared in school if symptoms arise when a student comes to school. She added that the parents of such a student will be informed to take the student to a hospital or home.
කරලා තියෙනවා වෙනම කාමරයක් ඒ කාමරයේ දරුවව වෙන් කරලා තියලා දෙමව්පියන්ට දැනුම් දීලා දරුවව රෝහලකට හරි එහෙම නැත්නම් නිවසට යවන්න කියලා තමයි දැනුම් දීලා තියෙන්නේ.
However, all schools in the Kurunegala Urban Council limits will open after another 1 week. Police have instructed the drivers to follow health guidelines that have been introduced in connection with transporting school students.
The National Centre to Prevent the Spread of COVID-19 says that 6 police divisions of the Colombo and Gampaha districts will be removed from the isolation status from 5 a.m. tomorrow. Meanwhile, 7 Grama divisions of Kaluthara Bhandaragama police divisions have been declared as isolated areas. Boralla, Vallampitiya, Colombo Fort and Slave Island police divisions will be removed from isolation status from 5 a.m. tomorrow. However, Vanathamulla, Vakanda Grama division of Slave Island in the Boralla police division will remain as an isolated area. 13 police divisions in Colombo will remain as isolated areas. They include Matakkuliya, Mutwal, Blue Mandal, Kotahena, Grand Pass, Offshore, Adruppuvidya, Maligavatta, Dematagoda, Kesalvatta, Mardana, Peta and Dam Street. Jayala and Kadavada police divisions of the Gampaha district will be removed from the isolation status from 5 a.m. tomorrow. Negambo, Ragama, Vattala, Paliagoda and Kalaniya will continue to be isolated areas. 7 Grama divisions of the Kaluthara Bandaragama police divisions have been made isolated areas from this morning. They include Bogahavatta Grama division, Bamanumulla Muslim Grama division, Kirimantudava, Koravala, Atalugama West, Bamanumulla and Galagahamantiya. Meanwhile, the Railway Department has taken steps to operate several office trains while following health guidelines. Those trains will not stop at isolated police divisions. The chief epidemiologist, Dr. Sudat Samaravira, says that the public, especially those in Western Province and in isolated areas in the country, has a responsibility in curbing the spread of the COVID-19 outbreak in the country by strictly adhering to health protective guidelines and advice. He made these remarks at a media briefing today.
Since October this year, when the new cluster appeared, that we have not restricted movements or locked down the whole country as earlier. We carefully selected areas where need this closed down or some sort of travel restriction, and we imposed it on selected areas. Sometimes the whole Western Province was locked down, and sometimes that only certain identified areas. Now also there are some areas that is being isolated from the other areas, restricting travel to and from these areas, and also these areas will be added newly when if we identified an area with high risk and high risk of transmission, and locking down or isolating that area will help us to control this disease. As well as when some other areas are improving, the travel restrictions will be removed. But that does not imply that all these places where the travel restrictions are or isolation is being removed, lifted, are 100% safe. At the moment that we advise all the citizens in the country, especially people who are in the Western Province and those who are in the Gampaha district as well as from the Colombo Municipal Council area and rest of the Colombo district, should practice the health advices at this moment. This includes that all the people should stay at home as much as possible. If they want to come out to meet their special needs, and should be done it one person per family and come into the society. If they can fulfill all the needs at one go, it will be much helpful. And especially that those who are elderly and those who are having chronic diseases should stay at home as much as possible, avoiding to come into the society. When they come into the society, should wash their hands properly, and if they are entering into some other place like a shopping complex or some other institution, should wash their hands with soap and water properly. If the soap and water is not available, should use alcohol-based hand sanitizer to clean their hands, and also should maintain 1 meter distance all the time, and should also practice cough etiquettes, that if they are having cough and cold, should control it with flex elbow or should use a tissue, and also should not touch frequently their faces. The other most essential thing is that should wear a face mask from the time that they are leaving the home and until that they go back to the home. So if these practices are adhered, we are confident that spread of the COVID-19 in the society can be minimized.
We're now going to have a quick run through of the country situation with regard to COVID-19. The National Centre to Prevent the Spread of COVID-19 said that a total of 14,069 COVID-19 recoveries were recorded in the country. Up to now, 479 fully recovered patients have left hospitals today. Meanwhile, the woman who fled while under treatment at the Angoda Infectious Disease Hospital has been found from Aliyaguda Hindurangala area last night. The woman has been found from a wood area, and she had been taken to the COVID-19 treatment center at Gallal area last night with police protection. The percentage of COVID-19 recoveries in the country has increased up to 70.53%, while active COVID-19 patients currently receiving treatment stands at 29.5%, while 5,794 are undergoing treatment. A total of 175 patients were detected from the country today. The patients have been identified as close contacts of the Aliyaguda COVID-19 cluster. Another 479 recoveries were recorded today. A total of 10,514 PCR tests were conducted yesterday. Accordingly, 734,680 PCR tests have been conducted in the country at present. 9 COVID-related deaths were reported in the country yesterday. All of them were residents of the Colombo district. 2 deaths reported from Colombo 2 and 13, another 2 deaths reported from Colombo 10, and another 2 reported from Vellampitiya. Director General of Health Services said that 1 death was reported from Vellavatta. Meanwhile, an individual in Agarapathana area has been infected with COVID-19. His close contacts have been sent for self-quarantine. Another patient found from Thalawakale area, he has been sent to Hambantota COVID-19 treatment centre. Another patient has been found from Pudaluwa in Norelia. 50 contacts of him were subjected to self-quarantine. 17 COVID-19 patients found from Aludgama or rather Atulugama area have been sent to Hambantota COVID-19 treatment centre. 14 COVID patients were reported from Kurunagala Regional Coastal Superintendent's Office from the Kurunagala Main Post Office. Some officers have gone to other post offices and sub-post offices to distribute posts. Therefore, Postmaster General Ranjit Ariratna said that all post offices and sub-offices in the Kurunagala district will be kept closed on the instructions of health authorities. Accordingly, all hospital services in the Kurunagala district have been temporarily suspended. An alternative program is scheduled to be implemented to distribute medicine. The Prime Minister's office says that the rumour stating that the temple trees has been closed down temporarily due to COVID-19 pandemic is false. A statement said that no official of the Prime Minister's office or temple trees has been infected with the COVID-19. The activities of the Prime Minister's office and temple trees are being maintained according to the guidelines issued by the government and health authorities. Only an essential group of officials have been called for duty at the Prime Minister's office at temple trees, similar to the other state institutions and ministries. The work of the task force under the patronage of Basil Rajapaksa is maintained without any obstacles at the temple trees premises. COVID patients have been reported from an external unit attached to the Prime Minister's Security Division. The statement said that the security officers on duty at the Prime Minister's office and temple trees are engaged in their duties as usual. Well, the project to develop 160 roads at 160 electoral divisions was launched today near the Kapuduwa interchange. It was launched under the patronage of Minister Johnston Fernando. Road development projects are being implemented island-wide to coincide with the first anniversary of assuming office by President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. The Provincial Road Development Authority is scheduled to develop 100,000 kilometres of roads under Vistas of Prosperity program. The Kapuduwa interchange, which is built under the extension of the Southern Expressway, commences at the 130.6 kilometre post. People will be able to enter Matara Hakmana Road following the construction of the Kapuduwa interchange on the Southern Expressway. Kamburupiti and Matara areas can be conveniently visited after exiting the Kapuduwa interchange. 387.5 million rupees will be spent on the project. Plans have been drawn to complete the constructions within 6 months and to open the road for transport. Meanwhile, the foundation stone was laid to the commencing of the work of the road to Samagimawatha from Polothugoda Bridge to Pahalavitiyala. The roads from Hatamuna Junction to Batuvita Urapola, Kudanaganehira Aparakka and Udaparakka North Samapura Road and the Valihinda Kotavila Road were vested with the people. The program to plant 2 million saplings by the sides of the roads on a concept of the President was launched on this occasion. The inauguration of the ceremony to develop the Navin Vellaya Road to the school lane took place under the patronage of Sri Lanka Pujana Perumuna Chief Organizer Kanti Kodikara. The development of the Heenati Kumbura Mullairiyawa Road launched under the patronage of Sri Lanka Pujana Perumuna Kolonnawa Chief Organizer Ajit Subasinghe. This is the development of the Mirigama Ganegoda Rural Road launched with the attendance of the Gampaha District MP Kokila Gunawardena. Development of the Minuwangoda Opatha Nahala area road was launched under the patronage of Minister Prasanna Ranatunga. 121 roads in the Minuwangoda Divisional Secretariat area are being developed. Development of the Kakirivela road, which connects Navagamua and Batevela areas of the Kaduwala Electorate Division was launched today under the patronage of Minister Bimal Weerawansa. Development of the Undugoda, Nakadamulla and also Dadigamu Road was launched under the patronage of MP Premanath Sidolawatta.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa paid homage to the sacred tooth relic in Sri Dalada Maligava in Kandy today. He arrived at Dalada Maligava this morning. After paying homage to sacred tooth relic, the president exchanged views with Diyavadana Nilame Nilanga Dala.
Well, the Met Department says that the low pressure area in the Bay of Bengal to the southeast of the island can develop into a depression within the next 24 hours. The department says it can further develop into a cyclone within the next 48 hours. The system is expected to reach northeast after moving on the 24th towards the northwest. Intermittent rains with thunder cloud occur in the east, north and north central due to its impact. Rains of more than 150 millimeters are expected in some areas. Rains could occur in the western Sabaragamu central provinces, Puttalam, Gaul and Mathura districts. Strong winds up to 70 kilometers per hour could occur in the east, north, north central provinces. The Met Department says that strong winds of 50 kilometers can be experienced in other areas. Rains or rains with thunder could occur in shallow seas of the north and east, and the wind speed can suddenly increase up to 80 kilometers per hour. There is a possibility of strong winds from Puttalam to Colombo via Mathura. Sea waves can rise up to 3 meters near the coast up to Pothuvel from Mannar to Kankesanture to Trincomalee and also Batiklo.
As per the meteorological department, that they have warned for the fishermen and the naval community not to venture the sea areas, especially from Mannar, Kankasanture and Chafna and Mulatiu up to the Pothuvel area. The northern and the eastern sea areas would be very rough. It might be 70 to 80 kilometers per hour wind speed. And we have warned to the fishermen and naval communities since few days time. So people who are still fishing at these areas has to be returned to the ports where they are expecting to receive. And the rain condition also will be expecting more in the northern province and the north central and the northwestern and the eastern provinces. So people has to be very vigilant with their prevailing situations. And there might be a deep depression, so it will be intensified to the cyclonic situation as per the Met Department. So all the naval and fishing communities has to be very vigilant with that prevailing situation.
The Ocean Environment Protection Authority has organized various programs island-wide in connection with the first anniversary of the President assuming office. One such program of the series took place today by removing non-degradable waste on Mount Lavinia coastal belt and in the shallow sea. Sri Lanka Navy and volunteer environmental organizations have given their support to this program. The Ocean Environment Protection Authority has taken steps to organize according to health protective measures in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. Chairperson of the authority, Darshani Lahandapura, General Manager Dr. Turni Pradeep and a group of officials were present on this occasion.
We actually organized this just to commemorate the first year anniversary of His Excellency the President in his office, and also just to commemorate the first year completion of executing vistas of splendor and prosperity, the government policy. In that government policy, actually, it is very much clearly mentioned that Sri Lanka has to go for blue economy. Blue economy actually will have to reap resources, the economic gain from the ocean. There are many resources that we actually gain from ocean. Some of them are like we actually can get energy. We actually use this for naval activities, maritime activities, for aquaculture, tourism. Likewise, there are many economic activities that we can do with ocean. So for that actually we'll have to have a clean and healthy ocean and coastal area. For that only has taken this initiative, just to even with this pandemic situation, even with less participation, even with a lot of health restriction, we have gathered here just to create this awareness among the general public that we'll have to protect our ocean. We'll have to protect our coastal area.
So within this month, MEPA has arranged a number of programs around the country, especially from Jaffna, Mannar, Trincomalee and Golmatra, all the districts. But this program is mainly focused on Colombo district, and today we have arranged this program not only to clean beaches but again to clean the shallow water areas and clean the deep water areas, because we know that out of the plastics and pollutants we add into the ocean, only 30% come back as the beach trash, but the 70% of the pollutants goes into the deep ocean and disappear in great depths. But that causes lots of problems to the tourism, fisheries and other maritime activities, and again to the whole marine environment. Just to avoid that and give some sort of awareness to the public to stop pollution, at the same time to concern about more environment and to give some idea about the protection of the environment, Marine Environment Protection Authority, Sri Lanka Navy and again Pearl Protectors and Earth Lanka, those agencies got together with the leadership of MEPA and arrange this program. Our ultimate task is to aware people and ask people to reduce the pollution and again to protect the environment, at the same time to establish prosperity and very cleaner and greener environment for our future generations, expecting the prosperity of the country.
The Ratana Sutra is being chanted, blessing the government led by the President, people, country and the world community. A 7-day chanting of Mahapirit and Ratana Sutra commenced yesterday at the Kotte Madivela Iyampurwa Ganga Tilaka temple. The religious ceremony has been organized under the guidance of Chief Monk of the temple, Venerable Alutnuara Chandima Thera. Venerable Keenagoda Suddasi Thera delivered an Anusasana. Devotees of the temple, including MP Jayantha Katagoda, were present on this occasion.
And it's time to go. Do enjoy the rest of the programs. Take care and good night.